All right, we'll get started then. The one shot that we're about to go through is set in the southern lands, south of where the current campaign is, around the areas of Mesotar and Tolrania. Your characters, long-time explorers, hunters, treasure finders, and keepers and sellers, um, have all been commissioned by the Auric Charter. The letter that was sent out reads as follows: To the esteemed hunters, you are hereby commissioned by the Auric Charter to explore newly uncovered ruins of Rezun, located near Tolrania, beyond the Indigo Salt Flats. Your objectives: locate and recover artifacts of historical or magical significance, assess any dangers and secure the site for future excavation, and eliminate or report threats that may hinder recovery efforts. Your compensation will be 2,500 gold each, with bonuses for exceptional finds. All volatile artifacts must be surrendered for study. Failure to return within the 10 days will void payment. Fortune favors the bold. Signed by Hendren Colves, Master of Acquisitions at the Auric Charter. The two of you have been led by a Mr. Yun Saraka, who's the Ashwise nomad, leading you through the dunes near Rajun. The wind in the desert that you're sort of parading through is howling, and what was once sort of steady rock is now covered by shifting dunes and flat mirror-like surfaces. Pale sunlight seems to pierce through a ceiling of ever-swirling grey, which catch flecks of glass sand as they dance through the air. The indigo salt flats loom distant and mirage-like, unreachable, unknowable, as heat seems to wrap the skyline like water in a cracked bowl. This is Rajun's grave, and you stride right towards it. Mounted on the backs of Starly, which are lizard beasts that are bred for the punishing sun and deceptive terrain, you press on into the scorched frontier east of Tolrania. All that shields you from the choking gusts are your cloaks and the heavy dust masks provided by your employer. You've been contracted to, as we've covered before, go through and uncover what may be lurking in the ruins and secure the site. The Auric Charter was made aware of this discovery through jagged stone spires, which they've confirmed would be visible once you are near the ruins, the site of the ruins. So the creatures that you're on are called the Starly. Where did I write the description for these? So the Starly are, if you imagine a mix between like a Komodo dragon and a desert basilisk. They've got tough scale plating with rows and rows of side gills to vent the heat, and their long clawed limbs end in wide, flexible feet, almost acting like snowshoes over sand, with a series of webbed frills along their neck and tail, which serve for balance and also communication between the two. Their eyes are iridescent and also do that thing that crocodiles do, where they got like an extra skin layer before they blink. Yeah.
Has Dan died, or is he just holding that position for realsies?
I think he might just be holding that position. Yeah. Oh no, he might have been slowly dying actually.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so the way that they've been bred and raised allows them to see clearly in ash storms and harsh glare. They can run at high speeds and leap long distances, but they are temperamental if they're not handled with confidence. When threatened, they spit caustic sand/mucus, which gives them the commonly referred street name of spitters. So as you guys are running through, We'll ask you to introduce yourselves.
Dan can go first if he wishes.
Go on, Dan. Introduce your character.
Yes, my character. His name is TinyTod. His aim is to find tiny treasures. Okay. This is what TinyTod does. He's a collector of the tiny things. Okay. He's a how old is he actually? He's a dwarf for stars. Very small.
Yeah.
Very tiny. He is 51 years old. He's got a nice long greyish whitish beard, bald head, green eyes that pierce the night. Okay, you can see in the dark.
Okay.
He's
Oh
very
shit, he
small.
actually can as well. What the fuck? Okay.
Hey, I did know that as well. Yeah, he looks cool. He's got some cool shit on him.
Okay. Fair enough. How well do you think TinyTod would be on the back of these starly beasts?
I think he'd be flying about. I'd say almost one hand in the air, like
Okay, fair enough.
like he's getting thrown about on there, you know.
Okay.
He's like, "What the fuck are these fucking things?"
Naturally, he would be covered in the appropriate cloak
Yeah,
and
he's
mask.
got Yes, he is also wearing some mithril plate. So that looks.
Oh, damn.
I'd imagine. And he's got a flame tongue club, as well. Maybe it's the tongue of one of these beasts. You know.
Just flopping about. Okay.
Flacking about. You know, like, attack! Whips the tongue.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
Mm-mm.
All right. Next one, we'll move up to Hello.
Yeah, so I am playing Bexar Wampus. He is a bard fairy.
Interesting.
He speaks with a bit of an Irish twang, but we'll get to that when I actually start talking.
Okay.
He's got matte black hair, so like as dark as you can physically get. It's almost like supernatural. And he's got piercing green eyes. He is about 4 foot tall. He's about 4 foot tall, and he has shimmering wings that unfold whenever he wishes to take flight. And he's quite a lightweight Caucasian guy. Obviously, he's 4 foot tall. He doesn't weigh a great deal. He is armed with his dagger of denial. He is donning some leather armor. And on one of his fingers, he has a ring of misspelling.
A ring of misspelling.
Yeah.
Does he make other people misspell things?
No, so this
He's
ring holds 3 charges. When the wearer casts a spell, they may spend a charge to add, remove, or change a single letter in the name of the spell and cast the newly named spell instead. The effect of this
So
new
you're just going to be
spell...
putting an S on the end of loads of spells.
the effect of this new spell... The effects of this new spell are determined by the DM and will be of the same general strength and power level of the original spell.
Damn. Didn't expect you guys to... Okay, well, that's cool. So you guys are now sort of bounding through the dunes here. Some of the cover that was provided by the clouds is now starting to clear, so the sun is now very much beaming down on you. You start to crest over sort of a ridge on the landscape, and just before you sort of hit the lands of Old Rezun, your guide, Yun Saraka, turns to you and lifts a hand, signaling you guys to halt. I'm going to go ahead and ask you both to do an animal handling check, please, just to see how well you execute this.
Fantastic. I'm surprised to hear my animal handling is +5.
That's an 11.
Okay.
23.
23.
Yeah.
Okay. TinyTod, not that you've ridden these beasts much, but pretty familiar with how to control them already. You bring it to a pretty succinct stop. Bexar, you can't quite get a grip on the beast. It seems to go in straight lines and follow the others fine enough, but as you're trying to bring it to a stop, it's sort of pushing its head against your control, and then it's sort of skidding and screeching to a stop, kicking up a load of sand and dust. It's at this point that Yun looks towards you and he goes, well, this is as far as I take you. The dunes are a little bit shifty, shall we say. But these beasts, and he smacks the head of his stall, and he says, they'll be able to guide you as long as you are confident and you don't drive them into any apparent dangers. You know your way around from here, or are you just guessing?
Got to be honest with you, mate, we're kind of just guessing.
Okay. Well, just so you know, a while ago, Rezun was full of a very lively city, and eventually they sank when Rezun fell. There are people talking about what lurks in the sand. So just be careful you don't awaken any beasts in the glass.
Do you know any way to avoid that?
Oh, sure. He points back the way you guys came and went, you go that way.
Okay then, fair enough.
He takes a second and he starts looking around. He kind of closes his eyes as he looks up into the sky and he says, do you feel that there is a certain hum in the air? It's not quite wind, more of a memory. And I've lived long enough to know that memory isn't always kind. Where you feel your emotions the strongest, probably best to avoid that direction.
Okay then. I suppose I don't know what you mean, but we'll find out.
Yeah, well, TinyTod don't feel shit, so that means nothing to me, mate. I don't have emotions. Thank you.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm in
Surely
for
you
tiny
must
treasure.
feel something.
Oh no! Put a blade to my neck right now. Do it. I don't feel it.
Is at this point you notice that Yun actually does have a long curved obsidian blade that's sort of resting at his hip. He hasn't touched it this whole time, and as you sort of say, put a blade to my neck, his lizard mount starts to sort of snort and sort of square it up basically, and then Yun's like, easy. It's okay. It's I believe you. I don't think you feel fear, but you're probably going to feel something if you stay here long enough.
Well, I can't feel the cold either, mate. So.
TinyTod, we're in the desert, mate.
Gets cold? The fuck?
It's fucking daytime.
Oh, okay. I'll just.
Yun sort of turns towards you guys and he says, I'm not privy to the details of your assignment, but are you looking for anything in particular?
Now you'd think I was paying attention. I was not.
Tiny treasure.
Tiny treasure.
Little tiny Todd was little tiny treasure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There are safer places to find the tiny treasures.
We're just we're looking for the ruins of Rezun. That's about all we know.
He kind of has a bit of a whimsical look to him, and he sort of brushes some ash off his shoulders, and he goes, "Well, you can go on if you want. I'll be here when you crawl back out, if the dunes let you. And if they don't, well, I'll know not to bring anyone else down this way." And he gives you all a nod, and then he sets off down the way, and you hear the starly sort of shifting across the sands.
I'd like to call after and go, wait.
He kind of turns his head a little bit and then brings the mount around. He's still a bit of a distance away from you, but you stopped where he is.
I got stuff. Okay, so then TinyTod just goes, well, why wouldn't you join us then?
I think he said he was scared.
Yeah, he kind of shifts in his seat. He looks around and he goes, I don't want to die. And then he rears the starly up, almost like a horse. He brings it up and then it sort of spins on the spot and then they scatter off.
As he scatters off, TinyTod goes, real men aren't afraid to die!
And as you say that, you watch as the heat haze from the dunes just suddenly starts to obscure him. And just as quickly as he was there, he's now disappeared.
He's giving me real Jaffarge vibes, you know, like, go in there and get me my fucking thing from this lion's mouth. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You guys now, for all intents and purposes, are in the middle of a desert, knowing the general direction that you need to go, but not quite sure exactly where this ruin is. The ridge that you're on is giving way, sort of going downhill through some rocky crags and sort of the sand being swept by the wind, is giving way to what looks like cracked, arid earth that eventually starts to go smooth after a certain point. And as it gets smoother, it seems to turn glass-like, and there is just a lot of glare and reflections coming from that direction. But that is the direction that you're assuming you're going to be heading.
So what you're saying is shiny that way.
Yes, basically. Now, what we're going to do, I just want to try this anyway. We're going to see what the weather's like on your descent into the salt flats.
Can I really quickly need to take a pill? 1 second. Somewhere.
Right, yeah, that's right. I remember.
You wanted to test rolling something.
Oh yeah, the fucking weather.
The weather, yeah. So this area of the world is quite hot, but it is prone to some pretty drastic changes in climate. So what I want you to do, one of you roll a D100, please.
On it. Which one's the 100?
The physical one.
It's one with 100 numbers on it.
Actually, it's 2 dice. Thank you very much. 10, 16.
16.
Yeah, 16.
Okay. So you guys start heading off into the direction that you know about. Judging by the distance and what little information you do have, it is something that might take you a little bit of time to get to. Maybe a day or so of traveling from this point. However, as you start wandering through the mirage, not the mirage, that's what's going to come now. As you start wandering through the salt flats, you guys are hit with what's known as a mirage pulse, and you start to see as reality begins to flicker around you in layered sort of illusions. You're seeing shifting figures walking just on the edge of your perception, entire dunes appearing and then disappearing, various items appearing in the air and then disappearing, and it's very distracting and hard to keep track of sort of your direction that you're heading in. So what I want you guys to do as well now is make a wisdom saving throw to see whether you can navigate this area.
That is a 18.
18, okay. What did you get?
17.
17, okay, yeah.
You said wisdom, right?
Yeah, wisdom, yeah. That's enough, actually. You guys, despite the area around you trying to distract you, you do manage to make your way through without losing track of time or direction or anything like that. You continue on for a little bit. Let's roll that D100 again, please.
Cool. What's that? 91.
91. Okay. Both of you roll a D20. No additions or anything. Just tell me who gets the higher number.
I got a 3.
17.
Okay. Right. So, TinyTod, as you're walking, well, as you guys are sort of heading along with your Starly, you notice that where the mirages were previously seem to start to cut into the area or the space in front of you, basically. And for a second, you walk through and disappear.
Wait.
Bexar, you are heading forward, and then you glance backwards, and you see that your friend or your colleague, TinyTod, has disappeared.
What the fuck's going on here?
TinyTod, you seem to walk from a glass sand desert into an area almost like a fully constructed city. Seems to be a marketplace, bustling. There's a wave of sand that seems to pass over the city, but it seems to crash around it in this globe-like effect. It doesn't seem to. None of the sand gets into the city where you are, and you start to see shadows of people across the ground, almost like you're walking through a thoroughfare. Architecture here looks very, very old. You see a vision of a huge figure crashing through the sort of orb that's surrounding the city, and as it crashes through, flames seem to pour in, and there are then chains of fire starting to wrap around the city. And just as those chains are about to crash into you, you blink back in. And Bexar, you turn one way. Where the fuck is he? And then you turn the other way, and he's just striding right alongside you.
Where did you go?
Nowhere really.
What, you weren't fucking here a second ago?
I was just walking, really, mate. There was something though. There was something. Cast my mind back. It was very brief though. Very brief. Sort of a city. Sort of sand swirling around it. There was weird music playing. And then some big flamey fucker came in and just, I think, killed everyone. But I was spared. Should we go? Should we continue, or not really much else to say about that? So.
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Oh, I've never been better, to be honest. Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah. My mental state's never been, higher than this. I've never dipped really ever in my life. So. Good.
Fair enough. I mean,
As
yeah,
you
I guess we'll go.
As you guys are seeing this and having this discussion, you do notice that off in the distance, you start to see ruins jutting out from the ground as the shifting sands start to fracture around these obsidian spires, and you see sort of collapsed temple halls, and half buried in the dunes is the back end of this building, basically. It's painted, from what you can see just beyond the obsidian obelisks, painted in bright but worn out colours, a lot of yellows, greens, blues, and patterned all over the building in sort of various different types of triangle arrangements, all covering this geometric sort of pattern around the building. A lot of it now is more or less worn away, but the glimpses of what was there you can still see. But now your destination is in view here. Can you guys hear the music, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me reload. Just stop for me.
Playing something that doesn't sound like what it was sounding like.
It's like,
Mine's going.
yeah, with some like. That's
Okay,
just
there we go.
stop
Now
for
it's
me.
playing.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's start again.
Okay.
Mine's still the same music.
Okay. You are approaching the entrance of this area. You can see that where the obelisks are, you're getting the sensation now that Yun was telling you about. It seems like there's a breeze flowing towards you, but it's not cooling your skin. You feel like as the magic is sort of emanating off these obelisks, it's almost like you're trying to remember something, but you can't. It's just on the edge of your memory. You can't quite hear what it is. But in front of you, the collapsed sort of roof of this building is surrounded in 4 parts by the obelisks, which seem to be warding out the sand around you as well. So as you come in, the Starly immediately are spooked, and they start sort of trying to buck you off, basically, to run away. If you want to just let them go, you can do, or if you want to try and keep them here, animal handling check.
Yeah, I'll try and keep mine here.
TinyTod, what are you doing?
TinyTod's gonna be like, "Ah, you fucking bastard! Fuck off, then."
There goes half your rations. Oh.
13.
13. Okay. It does take quite a bit of time for you to calm it down. It seems to be taking every opportunity to get away from you, basically. But you do try, and after a good 10-15 minutes, you do manage to wrestle it under control, and it seems to trust you enough to, at the very least, stay a certain distance away. Yeah, exactly. As you sort of stroke it, you watch the gills on the side start to sort of jitter or trill or whatever it's called. Yeah, so it's sort of staying there. In front of you, obviously you've got the 4 posts of the obelisk pillars, and then a very unceremonious sort of image in front of you of what was once a quite large, what you gather, temple, with now a collapsed roof, and there is sand seemingly flowing outwards from the inside. The inside of it looks very dark, except for a couple of bits of light shafts that you can see penetrating into that darkness. And the rest of the building is covered in a dune, a sand dune. So you can only really see the entrance, and then there's darkness inside that area. What would you like to do, gentlemen?
Could we... so I'm going to turn to TinyTod and go, if I know anything, there is definitely something worth finding in that temple.
Tiny goes where the tiny treasure is.
There's probably some tiny treasure in there.
I'm all for it.
Alright, let's go.
I won't back down.
Can I jump off of my mount?
Yep.
Is there anywhere that I can, like, tie it up?
Not as such. I mean,
Sexually?
the only thing you could really do is just get like a stake out from your supplies, hammer it into the ground, and then just tie it that way. But there's no like natural area to tie it.
Okay. I will, although I feel like it's kind of a pointless task because it's, you know, the desert. Sand's not exactly known for keeping things still. But yeah, I'll kind of like find like a vaguely sheltered part of where we are and do that.
Fair enough, yeah. You take again a couple more minutes just to make sure it's safe, secure, hammer in the stake, and it's sort of more or less just, it seems to, as you leave it, it's got this sort of understanding that it's going to be here for a while. So you watch as it starts to relax in the sand, and its legs sort of start to jitter as it starts throwing sand over itself, and then more or less just disguise itself in the sand around you.
I'd like to look around and sort of disdain if this is, when I had that little vision thing, if this is the same sort of place, if it's the same sort of atmosphere.
Give me a perception.
Okay. $13.
13.
Yeah.
It looks similar to the architecture that you saw when you were having that sort of vision. You don't know if it's quite the exact same place, but similar kind of building that it was in that vision. Yeah.
Bexar, if that is your real name.
Of course, that's my fucking real name.
Oh, okay. I just thought it's a bit of a gay name. So, anyways,
Tiny Todd. Your parents literally named you Tiny Todd. I don't know how you dare.
and I owned that shit. Okay.
And I own
Tiny Todd
fucking
the Tiny
Bexar.
Treasures. No, yeah, fair enough. It's got no meaning, but alright. Tiny Todd's. Me.
Okay, the names never really have meaning. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
I don't know if you deserve it now.
You motherfucker.
Say sorry.
Absolutely fucking not.
Okay, well, what I was going to say was, before you really interrupted me with your weird name thing you were talking about, was this place looks kind of, sort of similar to that little vision I had, but that had no meaning.
Aye?
That, yeah, just thought I'd share that with you, because, it's spooky, innit? Not that I get scared, me being Tiny Todd, you know.
I'm starting to believe you less and less about that, but, I mean, I guess I see what you're saying.
About the vision?
Yeah, I obviously, from what you've said.
Alright, fine. Keep your secrets.
Okay.
And keep them, he will.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess we should go and check out the temple then.
Yeah, I will, but not because you said so.
No, it's fine.
I'm doing it off on my own back, okay?
As...
Tiny Todd listens to no man or woman, as you are.
Okay. As we start,
Only women float around like you do, mate. All right.
As
I
we...
see no man be floating around like that.
I mean, my wings aren't pleasantly out at the minute, but okay.
I can see it, or I can imagine it.
As we kind of start making our way in towards the temple, I'm going to pull the candle out of my bag, and once we're inside, I'm going to use my druidcraft cantrip to light the candle.
Okay, yeah. You would need it because you don't have dark vision, as it turns out. Tiny Todd, you do actually have dark vision, and also fail to realize you also have true sight.
I
up
do.
to 60 feet,
60 foot. Yeah.
which is kind of crazy.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
True sight, you can see out to a specific range, see in normal and magical darkness. You can see invisible creatures and objects, and automatically detect visual illusions, and succeed on saving throws against them.
Damn.
And perceive the original form of a shape changer or creature that is transformed by magic. Furthermore, the monster can see into the ethereal plane with the same range.
Damn. That's 60 foot too.
That's 60 foot, bro. That's
We
about
could
as long
use
as
Tiny Todd in the main campaign.
Get it?
Todd is. He knows what's up. Let's just say he's got eyes in
really
the back of his
does.
head, even.
Okay. So, yeah, you guys start to enter in. And as you sort of approaching into the room, you can see there seems to be this area was like an antechamber, basically. And there's sections that seem to be shooting off into different directions in this hexagonal kind of room. This is now the area that's directly underneath the dunes here. So as you sort of gone through the little entrance area, you come into this bigger chamber, and at each of these corners there seems to be a door leading further through. Tiny Todd, you can see pretty handily in here that this is kind of the reception sort of area. And you can see a little bit out into some of the hallways as well. And you can see that each of these places do have rooms. You can't quite see that far ahead, but yeah, the rooms are in there. Bexar, as you light your candle, it only sort of sheds, I think it's dim light in about 20 feet or something like that, 10, 20 feet, something. So you can't make out too much, so you are more or less relying on Tiny Todd here.
A candle sheds bright light in a 5-foot radius and dim light for an additional 5 feet.
Oh, so it is 10 feet, okay. Yeah, so you guys have basically got 5 doors here that you can go through. It's up to you which direction you sort of want to tackle first. One of them seems to be an arch that's got a single eye above it. One of them is another sort of more square door that's got 3 embossed cups, basically. It looks like symbols of cups on top of the door. On one of them is a more sort of rounded doorway, and at the top is the relief of like a star. On one of them is the like a symbol of a set of scales, and then on one of them seems to be a sundial on top of the door.
Now, Bexar,
Aye.
you can't see.
Well, I mean, I've got my candle, but sure.
I can see.
I
I can see the whole thing.
I feel like I'm inclined to believe you here, but to be honest, I really don't.
Do you not see my green eyes?
I've got fucking green eyes.
Mine are greener, and that means something.
Whatever.
Okay. And if my archaeology is anything to go off, actually, let me tell you the options here, okay? I want to go down the one with the eye, okay? Because the eye of the beholder, all that, yeah? Seems fair.
Beauty is in the eye of the
pretty
beholder.
good.
Yes,
Yep, exactly. You finished it. I started it. That's how we can do this. Okay. There is an eye door, a place with an eye. Okay, with a corridor. There's a place with scales, as in scales. Yeah, and I do that.
So not the dragon kind.
Yeah. You know they're fucking.
So not the dragon kind.
There's scales. I'll just run them off. There's scales, an eye, sundial, star thing, and some cups. We'll go on the eye one there, right?
I mean, if you want to go down the eye one, we can go down the eye one. I feel like we've got.
You don't have to join me. I mean, I can see you can't, like I've said.
I feel like we should stick together, but also,
Okay.
I feel like we've got plenty of time to check most of them out.
Okay. Cool.
Cool, no doubt.
I think we should go down the one with the eye then, because
Let's go.
whatever you said was whatever you said. So.
Okay.
Yep.
You guys make your way towards the door that's got the it's sort of arched with an eye on the top, and as you make your way through, you watch as yeah, we won't do a perception check. You guys see as you walk through, you watch as the eye closes, the stone on the eye closes, and as it closes, a shimmering wall that's translucent but a little bit cloudy just goes over the doorway that you just walked through.
Bexar, we've just entered a Dark Souls boss room.
What's Dark Souls?
Well, basically, okay, if you want the whole lore, I can give it to you. But basically,
You seen Batty video? All right, basically what it is.
No, you're right. So what it is.
It was this play I saw. It showed after Frozen in the Presel Theatre.
Oh yeah. Okay. You guys walk into a room here, which is pretty sparse. There's not much on here. You can see TinyTod, that there's nothing in this room in terms of illusions or anything like that. There's just a pretty blank sort of room that is almost like a cylinder. It goes all the way about 30 feet. And then at the opposite end, etched into the wall, there's some writing. And then it looks like in stone on the wall, just above where the writing is, there is a chiseled pendant in the stone itself. I'm assuming you're going to want to read what the writing is.
Bexar,
Aye.
if that is your real name.
It still is my real name.
Can you read?
I've been known to be able to read, yes.
Then follow me.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys
follow
make
We'll walk up to it and
use
I'm like,
the
ooh, yes, numbers, words, yes, graphs, paragraphs, islands, money.
written into it is just a single sentence that says, "I never speak, but reply when spoken to. What am I?"
TinyTod just goes, Alexa!
Nothing seems to happen. You watch as as you say that answer, the room shrinks
Oh,
slightly.
fuck, where did it go?
Can I? What? Remind me again. What does it say?
It says, "I can never speak, but reply when spoken to. What am I?"
I never speak, but reply when spoken to. Is it an echo?
You hear almost like someone sighing, and then just behind you, a illusion of Bexar appears, motionless, and just says, "An echo." And then the room, instead of constricting, now goes opens up a little bit more, and some of the dust that was scraped off as it starts to fall in, as the room sort of starts to expand, some of the dust falls from the cracks, and it starts to coalesce where the relief of that sort of a pendant was. And you guys seem to see in here a pendant that is suspended in air, just floating silently. It's a silver chain, which has a shard of polished obsidian that seems to reflect firelight. You gather this is pretty tasty little treasure. And it is, in fact, quite small.
Did you say it's tiny, maybe?
If I had to categorize it, yeah, I would say tiny.
A tiny pendant. I'm just gonna look at him and I'm just gonna go on then.
Yes! Tiny treasure, tiny treasure.
You go
I'll
up
grab
to
him.
it and you
I'll
grab
grab
it. Yeah, it looks, even in your hands, it looks pretty well made, and the materials on it are very, very expensive. You have found the pendant of the twin flame. Once per long rest, when the wearer casts a fire spell, they can choose to duplicate it onto a second target within 10 feet of the original. And as you wear it, you always feel slightly warm.
Well, it doesn't feel the cold, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there you go. But as you grab the pendant and sort of snatch it out, the sort of wind or memory sort of pressure that you were feeling seems to disappear from the room as you grab the pendant.
That's it. There's nothing else in this room.
That was the only thing in this room.
Oh. I guess we go try the next one then. What was that? The scales.
Cups, I think.
Cups next.
Yeah, let's fucking do it. I got my tiny treasures already. I'm fucking feeling it.
Okay. Just remember we're splitting this lit.
I'm getting all pumped up.
Just remember we're splitting this lit.
Yes.
And as I say loot, I'm gonna pull mine out. Obviously, I've got my candle, but I've like custom made my loot slightly, so at the end it's got a candle holder.
Candle. Okay. Nice.
And I'm just gonna start like strumming it and tuning it as we walk.
Bring over yonder door.
And TinyTod goes, he's like,
Fucking hell, if I knew he was gonna fucking do this, I would have fucking done it. Fuck, man.
Not today. Okay, you guys make your way out of the room, and you go to the room pretty much adjacent to where you are, with the sort of 3 cups that were emblazoned on the top of the door. On the top, as you walk in through the room, it's again pretty non-distinct in terms of markings or anything like that. But there is a smooth obsidian table in the center that has 3 goblets. The goblets are in pretty pristine condition, although all 3 are slightly different. And there is a writing on the table itself. which says 1 brings wisdom, 1 brings death, 1 brings nothing at all. Only with wisdom can you pass.
Okay.
Hmm.
I answered the last one, so I say you just drink from one and see what happens.
The 3 cups in front of you, there's one that's gold with gems encrusted around it. There's one that is silver with nice sort of engravings, filigree. And there's one that is bronze with nothing much else familiar about it.
Right, Bexar, before I fucking drink from one of these, yeah, let's have a think about this.
I would say that the average man or woman would genuinely think that the gold one would bring them wisdom, and I think that's kind of a ruse. I think it may be that the old shoddy looking bronze one, I think that might be the good one.
My way of thinking was, if I pick silver, this riddle's got to be either the gold or the bronze has got to be the bad one, right?
Yeah,
Silver's like I either get nothing or wisdom, right? Surely.
Maybe.
Is it like the safest middle ground, you know?
I mean, we'll find out, won't we?
Fucking hell. Alright.
Hang on, let me see if there's anything I can cast right here.
Yeah, you can use spells, you can do whatever you want before you make a choice.
Hang on.
Is there anything in them? There is stuff in them.
There is, as you, without touching any of them, you sort of bend over and look into each of these. There doesn't seem to be anything that gives away, like the liquid isn't different from one to another. It's just a very nondescript red liquid.
Okay. No. It's right about now that I'm wishing I chose a druid. This
music's starting to piss me off.
Change it then. No, I don't really have anything that can help in this situation.
Alright. TinyTod is going to pick up the silver chalice.
Silver chalice. Okay. Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
A natural 20.
Fuck him.
A natural 20. Okay.
Damn.
As you
Hopefully that's
sort of
good.
raise the cup to your mouth and you drink the liquid therein, you feel a strange sensation, and you see visions of buildings crumbling, falling, sand sweeping over and taking over what was once there. Caleb, I want you to go ahead and roll for me 3d10, please.
Just to clarify, who's Caleb?
Oh, sorry, Bexar.
The gay fairy.
Could you roll 3d10, please?
Yeah, let me just find the right pouch.
Ouch.
Yeah, so my bag's separated into different pouches for different dice.
Interesting. Don't think Bexar would ever do that, but that's just me.
3d10s, you have an 8, a 6, and a 3.
TinyTod,
Yeah.
you take 17 points of psychic damage.
Oof.
But you succeeded the save, so you only take half that.
17 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And the cup in your hand crumbles.
Just crumbles.
Just crumbles.
Oh, fuck sakes. Fucking waste of effort, that. Okay. Bexar, my boy.
Aye.
I've had my chalice.
Does anything change in the room since he's drank from his chalice?
No. Same when you entered the room. Same thing as the first one. The door that you entered through had a layer basically that was erected, and that was it. Seemingly, as you're picking up these chalices and trying them, nothing else seems to change in the room.
Okay, so the
But
door's still closed.
Door's still closed. You can gather that if there was 3 cups, you've basically got one more try.
Bexar, what if the test? What if it's an idiot test? Okay, and we're not supposed to drink anything. Okay, that's the real wisdom. Don't do anything.
I think we
At
might.
this point, you see 2 skeletons in the
Yeah,
corner of the room.
so that. Just 2 dead skeletons. No, mine would be dead like that.
Close to the old bone, is it? Okay.
I think if we were to just do nothing, we might just be trapped.
Yeah, good point actually. Yeah.
I'll fuck it. I'll give it a go, and I'll reach for the bronze chalice.
Okay.
So I was like, ooh.
You shut up.
Okay.
Go ahead and you take a sip from the bronze chalice. You get a vision. It's the first vision you've had today. You get a vision of a city with buildings much similar to the one that you've walked into. And you see that there are some buildings that have got domes that seem to be made of plated gold that are gleaming in the desert. And as you take a sip from that, you hear a click. And the door behind you
I fucking told you.
seems to fade away.
I'm gonna take my swig here, the door clicking. I fucking told you it was the bronze one.
As you
Any
take
gambling man
that-
in my position, Bexar, would have picked the middle. All right, we would have picked the middle.
you watch as the final cup that's left there, the chalice, it seems to warp and distort into a bell, more or less.
Cool.
Except the gems seem to take over it, and it turns into a crystallized type of bell.
I'm just gonna.
Go on, yeah.
I'm gonna turn to Todd, and I'm just gonna be like, "You got the last one. This one's mine."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you grab it. As you sort of pick it up, you can tell it already is quite delicate, but even just holding it in your hand, it's almost like you can hear like a tuning fork as you put it to your ear. You've picked up a crystalline bell that emits a soothing harmonic when attuned to magical resonance. And when you use it as a focus, once per day, you can use it to cast silence on a creature for 1 minute, or double the duration of the silence spell if you already have access to it. And if you strike it during a period where you're resting, all party members gain advantage on inside checks for the next hour.
Cool.
So that's that, lads. That's that. Okay, so you've done the cups and the echo one. You've got the star, the scales, and I can't remember what that last one was.
Neither can I.
We'll find out. Anyway, let's carry on then. What do you guys want to do next?
What do you feel about doing the scales next now, Todd?
Yeah, no, go on then. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
Are you okay?
Just visions, mate. Visions of this, this stuff that's going on.
That's fair enough. Yeah, we'll head to the.
I was trying to think of which one was adjacent to the one we were in, but I can't remember.
You just look zonked.
Was it the scales that's adjacent to where we are now?
Scales was the next one in the order. Yeah,
Is the next one in the order? Okay, yeah, no, grand. Because I thought that wasn't. And I was trying to think, how am I going to say to go to the next one, and then I couldn't remember, so I just fucking went, oh.
That's fine.
Okay, you guys enter in. Same rigmarole as the other ones. As you walk in, you hear the vroom of the light sort of blocking your exit.
Okay.
The room that you're entering is a hexagonal room, and in the center there is a giant stone book that's open to 2 blank pages, and at its base is the inscription, "Speak the phrase that binds all truth."
Speak the phrase that binds all truth.
That binds all truths.
Honestly. No. Speak the phrase that binds all truth. Okay, so let me check what this spell does real quick. Oh my god.
Speak the phrase that binds truths.
No.
Is there anything else we can see?
Not in the room, no.
Just the book
I mean, you
with the-
can. I mean, if you want to take a look, I'll say you give me an investigation check.
One was a 6.
Plus 4. 9 plus 4. 13.
13. Okay. I would say that you realize that the general theme here seems to be that each of these rooms has a riddle in order to extract the treasure from within. And each of them seem to be pretty classic sort of word puzzles, which means that you might not be looking at a definitive answer as much as a concept. Meaning that the riddle might not be something specific. So it might not be like, a stone or something like that. It could just be... Well, I can't say without giving you one of the things that were fast. But it's not just one thing. You could feasibly name like one in a list of different things, and then...
What was the riddle again?
Speak the phrase that binds all truth.
Speak the phrase that binds all truths. An ending?
An ending.
Yeah.
Damn, you got it on the first one. That's fucked up. Okay.
Is it actually?
Genuinely, yeah. There's a couple of answers that you could have given, and that was one of them. Yeah. You watch as the book starts to shrink down, and you hear the click again. And as the book sort of shrinks, it turns into just a single page, which is left behind. And is a glowing scroll that seems to be wrapped in threads of gold. And there's a wax seal on the bottom corner, but it doesn't have a symbol on there. And the effect of this scroll is once basically you can just use this scroll once to cast power word stun or power word kill without expending a spell slot, even if they would not normally have access to that spell, and then it gets wasted.
I'm gonna turn to TinyTod. I'm gonna go, can I have that?
Yeah, it was not that small, so that's alright. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
If it was tiny, you would have a problem, but...
Oh, that's fine. I'll take the scroll.
You take the scroll, and then we'll move on to the next part. You guys, you hear the click. You've taken the treasure of this room, and then you turn back to head into the main antechamber, and you turn to see that part of the rooms that you'd been into and part of the path that you'd walked from the entrance to these rooms has crumbled away. And where there was a path at a direction to go, it looks almost like you're looking out into darkness or faint sort of sense of constellations that you can see.
I got flapjacks.
Lucky fucking you.
Nice.
I want one.
Fresh.
Yes, actually.
Hey, Bexar.
Aye.
You ever been to a fucking dungeon like this before?
I don't think I have.
No, neither. It doesn't sound too good, actually, this dungeon either.
No, I don't think
Bro, I
have.
had to go get fucking sweet bit out, you dickhead.
Fresh baked as well, mate. Fresh.
Oh, you bastard.
Still warm. Oh shit, crumbly.
God damn it. Yeah, no, this is looking a bit weird. I like that there's tiny treasures in here, but I don't like the fact that we've been somewhere and it's just crumbled.
Well, I mean, I think that tends to be the entire place of this theme. I mean, you looked around when we were outside and the place was crumbling itself. You have to think, though, Todd, these buildings are really old. Maybe it's just
My
happening.
first name
naturally.
is Tiny, but continue.
It's all one name. I'm just going to call you Todd.
Family name is Todd. Okay.
Right. My last name's Todd.
Why is there no space then?
Because it's imaginary.
It's a dwarven thing. Get on
It's
it now.
fucking, it's fantasy, alright? You've got to fucking do it yourself.
Okay, well then, Mr. Todd. It just seems to be the entire...
Master. But...
Shut the fuck up.
As you
yeah, this is a bit fucking weird,
as you guys are discussing, you're watching as a lot more of this hallway now starts to crumble, and the crumbling basically, or the sort of light passive destruction, is encompassing or starting to take over most of this room, where part of the other rooms that you've not been into yet now are also starting to crumble.
Shit, we're wasting time.
Hmm.
Alright, really quick, I really want to get something sweet now because this little dick has...
Okay, I'm just saying this whole room might have crumbled by the time you get back. You guys have sort of stood as you've walked out and watched this, this slow, silent destruction starts to take over most of this room, and you're watching it sort of spread across. Basically, half of the room now is completely gone. It looks like it's drifting off into some kind of void. The only other room that's left is one with a door that seems to have the sundial on the top. All the other rooms seem to have crumbled away.
Oh, right, okay. I guess we'll check that one out. Yeah?
We're being forced into a fight.
I mean,
Not a fight.
we're either being forced into a fight or we're gonna find some more treasure. Either way, I can get us out of it pretty quickly if needs be.
If you say so.
We'll be fine.
Okay, you guys start making your way towards the final door, which seems to be at the very pinnacle sort of the room, on the opposite end of the entrance. As you make your way, you're starting to notice that your feet are leaving behind footprints which slowly start to disintegrate the ground behind you.
Can I? So I'm gonna like unfold my wings and start like just hovering above the ground.
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Doesn't seem to be crumbling off the back of your footsteps, but as you sort of get some distance, slowly just by itself, it seems to be crumbling into that room.
TinyTod just physical boss, and he's like, "This is fucking sick."
You guys make your way up to that final room now, and inside, as you walk through, it seems to be a lot dustier in this room, and you can see that there is water that's dripping down from the ceiling on one side of the room, and then dripping in reverse on the other side of the room. And there is a statues basically in prayer along the sides of the room, and on the opposite end there seems to be a statue of some kind of figure of power, someone wrapped in various different kinds of cloaks, holding a scepter in one hand and a stone, I forgot what you call them, hourglass, a stone hourglass, and you're watching as the inside of the hourglass, similar to the drops of water, seem to be going up the hourglass in reverse. And on the feet, sort of towards the feet of the statue, the one in power, it says, "To be seen, I must not be sought. To be known, I must not be named. To be found, I must already be within."
Run that back again. What?
So, to be seen, I must not be sought. To be known, I must not be named. To be found, I must already be within.
First things first. TinyTod goes, "Oh, I've always wanted to fucking do this," and he runs to the side that's going up, and he stands in it because he wants to walk on the roof.
Okay. You start to walk towards it as you brush past some of the statues that seem to be in sort of prostration. They actually kind of seem to shift out of your way a little bit, ever so slightly. And as you go towards the wall to try and walk up it, it is just a wall.
Oh,
Bexar's just going to be like giggling in the corner, laughing at him, like floating in the air, like fluttering away, just like kind of.
TinyTod's just like, "Oh,
Maybe next time, lad.
I thought this was my chance."
I doubt it, but happiness.
Happiness.
Aye. Yeah.
You say the words out loud. Nothing really seems to be happening. You watch as you say the word happiness, a lot of the statues that are on the ground praying seem to, again, kind of shift. This time a little bit, almost like they're uncomfortable.
Knowledge.
Again, you watch as the shadows and the statues, seem to sort of shift. They start moving a little bit closer towards the figure, the statue in power at the other end.
Run that riddle back one more time.
To be seen, I must not be sought. To be known, I must not be named. To be found, I must already be within.
Any ideas?
I'm trying to think about the within part.
Wisdom?
Must already be within.
Statues move again, slightly away from you.
Am I getting close?
Give me an insight check.
Insight +4. Oh, that's an 8.
So was that +4, 12 then?
No. That's an 8 with the +4.
Oh, damn. Okay. You're not really sure. You thought you had a pretty good guess with knowledge, but didn't seem like it was having any effect. And you're watching, as you're saying this, the drops of water seem to be going slower. What do you say, Dan?
TinyTod just goes, "Faith,
Faith.
faith."
As you say that, you watch as the statue that's on the sort of the seat, the one in power, seems to stand up and then crumbles. And as it crumbles away, you're watching again the same sort of crumbling darkness that you just walked away from is now in front of you. Although in the crumbling darkness in front of you, there's now a doorway where that statue once sat. It seems to be quite a bright plane of light in the shape of a door. And just in front of it, there is a small hourglass where the gentleman on the throne sat.
Is it small? Did you say? Did I hear the word small hourglass?
It is.
Well, Bexar, as we all can see,
That's all you,
It's
but
I will be taking that hourglass, yeah. I'll be having that fucking little thing. That little tiny fucking thing to put in my little tiny fucking bag.
in the meantime, I think we should get out of here.
What's the rush, baby?
Bexar's just gonna point behind him. He's gonna go, that's the fucking rush.
Yep.
And Tiny Toad's like, yeah, fair enough, right, yeah, it's got point.
You guys you're making your way towards the door of light then.
Right.
As you make your way there,
Sweep that hourglass and then whoa.
you the hourglass itself is pretty small, and it seems to be filled with a glittering red sand that seems to be humming faintly with an arcane rhythm. With this hourglass, as whenever you use a reaction, you are able, or whenever a reaction is used, you can delay the outcome of that reaction, whether it's an attack, a save, or a check, by 6 seconds. So 1 round.
That's crazy.
Is it useful? Is that useful?
That's pretty useful. So, say somebody used a reaction to try and avoid damage.
Oh, I can delay their reaction.
Yeah. Any reaction.
Ah.
Pretty
Bitch.
strong. Yeah.
Are you gonna what? Mm-mm.
You make your way out. As you step through the door, you are back outside again. And as you're walking through, you're now almost in the center of like a bowl of sand, basically. You're back out into the scorching sun. And ahead of you, there seems to be these sort of bronzy metal statues lining the area that you're in. It's basically the foundations of what was once like a room of worship, with a post at the other end that seems to have a huddled or bundled figure stood behind, almost like a lectern, like sort of passed out like this on the lectern. But in front of that figure, there is a huge metal statue, along with more sort of metal statues along the sides. And as you step through, the sun immediately sort of hits you again, and you're watching as above or overhead, the sky seems to be wheeling rapidly in time. So it's going through day and night cycles in the matter of minutes, basically.
Hey, Bexar.
Yeah,
You remember when I said, have you ever been to a dungeon like this?
I'm still saying I don't think I have.
Yeah. Kind of a bit weird now.
Mm.
So let's get dodgy then.
I genuinely thought,
It's
by
getting
the
a little
way,
bit unforgivable.
I genuinely thought when you had when it's in that room with those statues and you said the statues stood up, I was like, this motherfucker's solo leveling us right now.
Yeah.
No, I
We
did
get
think about it,
schmeated.
but yeah, I did think about it, but I thought, nah, I don't want it to be too derivative. Anyway, yeah, so you're now out in the open, in the outside, and you're watching as every couple of minutes seems to go from night to day, and the figures in front of you don't seem to be changing, but you're watching slowly as the foundations that were around seem to be losing a little bit more of their structure, their integrity, as they start to, basically, it looks like they're degrading.
Can we go up to the figures?
You can. You start
That's-
to step towards the area. Give me a dexterity saving throw, both of you.
Yeah.
Oh, I got +8. Sweet. 25.
21.
Okay. Both of you watch as you step through. You're about to put your foot down onto like the ground proper, and you see a little glint in the ground, almost like a thin veil covering the floor in front of you. And just before you're about to step or cross that threshold, you stop yourselves.
I'm flying.
Yeah, you gather that even if you were to fly over, it would disturb like the
Okay.
magic.
Hmm.
Hey.
You can choose to just step through it anyway. But there's in this room there's some like leftover, not left over, but like collapsed pillars, etc., that had sort of dotted part of the landscape. But there's not much else to traverse this area between where you are and the figures at the other end.
I'm going to cast Mage Hand, my cantrip. And I'm just going to use it to poke it, like that area.
Okay. As you poke it, you hear as the statues on the other end, their eyes start to light with fire. And wait, did that stop?
I can hear it.
Is it playing?
There's just like a one-shot sound effect.
Yeah, it's stopped for me.
When you press it, it plays, but it's a one-shot sound effect.
Okay. That's what. Yeah, I know, but it's just it like stopped playing for me as soon as it. Anyway, yeah. So as basically you hear it and you watch as the large sort of statue starts to rear up and it's making sort of clanking sounds, and then the other ones on the sides seem to rear up as well, though they're a lot smaller. And you also watch as immediately opposite you guys, there are two swords that seem to raise up out of nowhere, right next to you. Let's go ahead and roll initiativo.
Right.
I'm still playing them sounds.
Is it?
Yeah. I got a dirty 20.
Okay.
I got advantage, but I rolled 13 on both dice.
Wait.
It's still playing sound effects for me as well.
Yeah.
It gives like looping them.
Okay, let me just try reloading.
Because if don't want this last cookie as well, what's that?
Yeah, these are still playing for me as well.
Oh, I'm so tempted to just put a spanner in your works, cast Dimension Door, and fuck off.
You could, but I mean, you don't know where you are.
No, but I don't need to know where I am.
It's within 500 feet. So you could just be teleporting out into nothingness.
Is it?
Yeah, Dimension Door. You're either thinking of teleport or like planar shift, but it don't work like that.
Why have you come in looking like a fucking retarded dinosaur?
T-Rex hands.
Everybody, load onto Dungeons and Dragons.
Launch the game. Am I supposed to be hearing music right now?
Yes.
I am. That's good.
War
drone. I've read that as Tiny Bexar. Because we're so close together.
So what did you guys roll again?
I rolled a dirty 20.
I rolled 15.
20. And you got a 15?
Oh,
okay.
A bit of pop. That's cool.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I didn't know that they had this, actually. Okay, first up is Bexar Olympus.
Okay.
As you enter, you are seeing ahead of you a huge golem-like creature with, like it says on here, animated armor, basically. And then two arcane trapped swords either side of you.
Cool. Okay. Let me just check what I can do for me bonuses before I do anything. Cool. Okay. I will cast
It's tough, man. Level 15, you got a lot of options.
I've got so many fucking spells here. So, I will cast at 4th level Phantasmal Killer
Okay.
on the War Drone.
Okay. What does Phantasmal Killer do?
You tap into the nightmares of a creature you can see within range and create an illusion of its deepest fears visible only to that creature. Your target makes a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 4d10 psychic damage and has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls for the duration. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage and the spell ends. For the duration, the target makes a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns. On a failed save, it takes a psychic damage again. On a successful save, the spell ends.
Okay. Wisdom saving throw then.
Please. Let me d10s out.
War Drone got a wisdom save of 15.
Meter, you beat it, so that'll be halved.
Go on, lad.
5, 6, 9, 10. So it takes 5 damage, which is fucking insane.
Damn. I got lucky.
And that's one spell slot gone. And then I will cast Bardic Inspiration on
Bardic, okay.
Tiny. As bonus action, a creature other than yourself within 60 feet that can hear you gains an inspiration die 1d12.
Okay. How do you inspire him?
I'll start playing my lute and I'll go, Tiny was a man who knew what to do. Tiny was a man who always had a plan.
Not true.
He says to the camera. Okay, cool. All right, so does that end your turn then? Bexar?
Yeah, that'll end my turn.
Okay. Next up, we've got Animated Armor A, who what's his speed? 25. Okay. He's gonna go 5, 10, 15. Stop right there. And he's gonna go ahead and make an attack at you, Tiny.
Okay.
Tiny Tim Bob. He will go ahead and use his multi attack. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh no. That's a 10 on the first attack. Guessing that doesn't hit.
No.
Okay, and then on the second attack, that's a 14.
Does not hit.
Doesn't hit. Okay. Both of his attacks miss.
I do have an action. Oh, okay, no, it's fine. I have a reaction, but it's fine. Don't worry.
Okay.
I need to take damage for it.
Cool. Okay, that will finish Animated Armor's turn. Next up is B. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He's going to go here and make an attack against Bexar.
No, you're
Again,
alright, thanks.
Huh?
You're alright, thanks.
What does that mean?
Don't want you to.
He sings his barge song. He flies like a gay boy. He says no, thank you.
14 to hit.
Hit.
Okay, so one hit,
You sunk
and
my
then
battleship.
an 8 on the next one. I'm guessing
Miss.
that doesn't. Okay. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Am I
Only
supposed to
the
see your
4?
rolls, Bez? Because I can see them.
You can see them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to turn that off. Oh well, fuck it.
Oh dear!
Oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Next up, we've got Animated Armor C. 5, 10. He's going to go there and then just hold an action so that as soon as there is someone within range, well, 1+ would technically be in range here, so he's going to go ahead and make an attack here. That's within 5 feet. Okay.
What did I do?
Bosh, 14 to hit,
Yeah.
and then a 7 on the second one. Okay, so just that. 8 points of bludgeoning damage from animated armor.
Got them
See,
fucked.
and that'll end his turn. Next up is going to be Armor Fanny. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, so he's going to end his turn there. And then next up, we got TinyTod.
Sorry. Well, I have discovered an issue. I should have fucking seen this, and I should have read something at least before I did anything.
Incredible.
But I'm wearing heavy armor, okay?
Hmm.
So I can't rage.
Take the heavy armor. Well, what is it, adamantine or whatever?
Mithril plate. It does say it's a light, flexible material.
I can't open your character page on this. Frick, dude.
It says, if the armor normally imposes disadvantage on dexterity stealth checks or has a strength requirement, the mithril version of the armor does not.
I will just say, for this, you're level 15. Yeah, you can rage with the armor on.
Okay, it's only because it says, when I find it, wherever the fucking rage is. You don't rage. You can only rage if you aren't wearing heavy armor. Basically, is what it says.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just allow it for this.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine by me.
Okay. I'm gonna fucking rage then. Bash! I get fucking angry. I can't remember what rage does, but it does something for sure.
Take half damage from a lot of stuff.
So I'm cool. You can abuse yourself with a prompt pouch called rage. You can have the rage, blah blah blah. What activity of rage follows rules. Damage resistance, rage damage. When you make an attack using strength with either a weapon or an unarmed strike and deal damage to the target, you get a bonus to damage. Barbarian shown in the rage damage column of the barbarian features table. I'm not going to read that, so. Yeah! So. I'm fucking raging. I have a raging clue. And Armor A is going to be in my sights because they took a swing at me. They fucking missed because they're shit.
They're pretty shit, actually.
Won't,
yeah.
Obviously. So I'm going to go, fuck you, guy. I'm going to make an attack on him. I get 2 attacks per turn.
You do, yes.
Should I just roll twice?
At the very least, yeah, go ahead, roll twice.
So 24.
That definitely hits, yeah.
And a 17.
17 misses.
17 misses, okay. So I should do my calamage. Does Flame Tongue do anything? If these flames... Blah, blah, blah. Weapons ablaze, it does an extra... Oh, while it's a blaze... I don't know if it's a blaze, though. Would it just be a blaze?
Is it an action to ablaze it?
Oh, you've got to use a command word as a bonus action to cause flames to engulf the damage. Part of the weapon.
I would say currently it's not in blaze, then.
That's it. Wouldn't be blazed yet. I'm going to not blaze it then. Because I'm just going to... I mean, I'm raging. I'm going like... I'm gonna hit him.
Yeah.
And I shall do 8. And do I do bonuses because I'm enraged?
I'm pretty sure you do. Yeah, yeah.
Do you know how much extra bonus damage? It says when you make an attack using strength with either a weapon or an unarmed strike and deal damage to the target, you gain a bonus to the damage that increases as you gain levels as a barbarian, as shown in the rage damage column of the barbarian features table. Let's Google
that. Let me just see. I think it's +2 currently.
Okay, +2 currently. Okay, so that would be 10 damage.
10 damage.
I'll swipe at him.
Shing.
I'm like, yeah, fuck you. And I go, oh shit, I can make my sword go on fire. I forgot about that.
While you're raging, obviously, you start laying into this this animated armor, and you forget the one phrase that you've always known that sets the sword on fire, which is obviously
flame on.
Flame on. Okay, pretty fantastic, actually. That will be.
I am being fantastic for a while.
Yeah, that'll be 10 points of damage as you swing into it. Even when it's not a blaze, it still does seem to tear through the armor. It kind of catches at one point, and then you pull the sword back out. That is 10 points of damage. Yeah. Does that do you?
Fresh.
Does that do you?
Pretty sure it does actually, because it's not much else I can leave.
Okay.
Which I like, because when I was playing the fucking wizard, I was like, fucking.
Yeah.
I was like, there's so much shit to look at. Fuck that. I'm just gonna smack him. Like,
Keep it simple, man.
yeah.
Next up then is animated flying blade. A, who's got a flying speed of 50 feet. So he's going to go 5, 10, 15, right here.
Oh, we're getting a bit boxed in here. Well, you
He's
are.
going to go ahead and make an attack against Bexar.
No, you're right.
That's just going to be just the one attack.
Mr. Wampus.
That's Mr.
14.
This motherfucker. Yeah, that hits.
That's 6 points of damage, please.
Bro's
Can you
been
guess what his
landed-
AC is?
Bro's been landed by AC. Did you say 6?
Yeah, 6 points. But that will do that for flying sword A. And then B, 5, 10. Same thing here. He's going to make his attack against TinyTod instead.
He can fly.
All I'm saying
24.
is you're going to regret this very soon.
That was a nat 20, actually. Yeah, nat 20. Oh, my days. Okay. So it's going to be 2d8.
That hurts.
I suppose.
So it's going to be 8 points of damage. Man,
Half
I really...
damage?
I thought I overtuned this, but I think I undertuned
Was
it.
that halved already?
That's... No, you'll have to halve that.
So 4. Yeah.
Yes, yes. That'll be
Cool,
his
4.
own end of
And,
turn.
I'd like to react to that.
Okay, go on.
So my reaction is retaliation.
Okay.
It doesn't say it's got any like charges, so I'm assuming I can use it every time I get hit. Does that do
Retaliation. You can do it. You'll be using your reaction, so it'll have. You can only do it once a turn, basically.
Once a turn. That's fine. I want to react to it, little bitch.
Okay.
So obviously it's within 5 feet of me, so I can take a reaction to make 1 melee attack against the creature using my weapon, basically.
Yeah, go ahead, do it. Just against B.
Oh. 9.
Misses.
It just rolled off the 19 as well.
Misses.
You
Yeah.
bastard.
You do swing out, but it's like you're clashing with a flying sword, basically. So you're basically just fencing with this thing.
Bling, 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 bling.
That's the end of that turn. Next up, we got the War Drone.
Maybe I should save my reaction.
He's going to go ahead. What's his movement? 20 feet. 5. No. He starts here. Go.
Oh!
5.
Uh-oh!
10, well, let's just say he was here. 5.
It does look a bit like the thing,
10.
actually.
15.
All bricked up.
20. So he's going to be here. He's going to go ahead and make an attack. Oh shit! He had advantage on that saving throw before, but it doesn't matter. Yes, he's going to go ahead and make an attack against TinyTod there. It's going to be a multi-attack. So he'll go ahead with his first one. 23 to hit. Yeah, that's a yes. I can tell already. And then the next one, 18 to hit.
Yes, that does also hit.
Both of them hit. Okay. So number 1 does 22 points of damage.
Well, off that.
And number 2 only does 10 points. So that's 32 points of damage altogether
Cool.
on that slam.
Damn.
Now, his AC is currently going to be bolstered. You watch as something inside him starts to begin to churn quickly, and you hear a rapid clicking sounds. He's going to go ahead and give himself haste.
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 Make haste.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and haste himself. Its speed is doubled. It gains +2 to its AC, and it has advantage on dexterity saving throws, and it gains an additional action on each of its turns. The action can only be used to take the attack action. 1 attack only. He's going to go ahead and do that attack now against you, TinyTod.
Great.
Oh, that's 13 to hit, so I'm guessing that misses.
That does miss.
Okay, excellent. All right. The recharge was 6, I think, so he's not going to be able to do that now for 6 rounds.
Okay.
That hasted attack. But that'll be his turn. Next up, we got Bexar.
I'm going to cast Summon Dragon at 5th level.
You fucking bitch.
Lovely. Lovely, lovely.
Okay, what does it say on there?
You call forth a dragon spirit. It manifests in an unoccupied space that you can see within range and uses the draconic spirit stat block. The creature disappears when it drops to 0 HP or the spell ends. The creature is an ally to you and your allies in combat. The creature shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It obeys your verbal commands. If you don't issue any, it takes the dodge action and uses its movement to avoid danger.
So it's the draconic spirit stat block. Okay.
Yeah. So its AC is 14 plus the spell level, so it's got an AC of 19.
Okay. Have you got the stat block with you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll ask you to keep track of like his HP and that.
Sure.
So that's fine. Yeah, you go ahead and summon the beast, the creature.
I want to summon it kind of like next to the war drone.
Next to the war drone. Okay, let's just say, how big is that actually?
How big is it?
Large dragon. Those are huge dragons. How big is this? Holy shit! Damn. Okay, let's use. An Allosaurus is large.
Sure.
Hey.
So you want it here, right, or further away?
Any just within attacking range of the war drone.
Yeah, that'll be there. That you'll be able to reach him from there. Okay, cool. Yeah, you watch as you drop it in. The magic sort of starts to take effect, and it's manifested into the area here. What does it look like?
So it's a bit of a unique. I feel like it kind of to its owner. It's got kind of matte black scales that fade into kind of like greenish scales towards the limbs, and it's got a scar over one of its eyes, and her name is Giselle.
Giselle?
Giselle.
Interesting. Okay, you TinyTod, you watch as you've seen some very powerful magic being used here, as this huge elemental draconic spirit manifests just a short distance away from you. Vanta black scales with green pearlescent hue on them, and it seems to look towards you two, and then look towards the golem, and immediately get into like an aggressive stance with its claws or talons coming out as it starts to rear up. It goes immediately after you, correct?
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay, let's add this to the initiative. You are going to be at its. Can I just move this up? Fuck me. Okay, we'll just say it goes right after you, but I'll keep it in there for now. Okay, that's fine. Excellent. Okay. Does that complete your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Next up, Draconic Spirit.
Giselle.
Giselle.
So I'm going to be like, Giselle, the big one. And she's going to multi-attack, so the spirit makes a number of rend attacks equal to half the spell's level. So it'd be 2. And it uses breath weapon. So it'd be 2 rends and a breath weapon. Bonus equals your spell attack modifier. Hit 1d6 plus 4 plus the spell's level piercing damage. Spell level piercing damage? Where's that?
This is the first time I've heard that.
I don't know what that means. I'm assuming it's just a modifier. So to hit would that just be a regular hit dice? Plus,
yeah, just do D20 to hit.
would it not give it pluses for something though?
What is
melee
it?
attack.
Yeah, it'll be like plus 8 or
Bonus
something.
equals your spell attack modifier, so it'd be a +7. Okay.
+7. That's close.
That is a 19 plus 7,
19.
26 to hit.
26 fucking hits. That hits the
Damn.
shit out of it.
Cool. So that's the
It's
first.
the shit.
I'll roll the attacks first, and then. What's that? That is a 14 plus 7, 21 to hit.
21 hits. Yep.
Cool. So then that's a d6 plus 4 plus 2. So that's 5, 9, 11 for the first one, and then 6, 10, 12 for the second one. So 11, 12, 23 damage for the rend attacks.
Damn.
And then I've got a breath weapon as well. So that's a dexterity saving throw. DC equals your spell save DC. So that's a DC
Dexterity.
Yeah, so you need to hit 15. And that's every creature in a 30-foot cone. So do you want me to line that up?
Yeah, if you got the thing, yeah, line that up. I think that's going to hit one of the animated armors. This sword, yeah, I figured it would be that.
So yeah, that's 30 feet.
Damn.
While he's hasted, he does get advantage on dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
And he got a 16.
Okay.
The war drone.
What about the sword?
Which one is that? That's
B. Okay. And the animated armor, Fanny.
Sorry. Oh.
The sword only got a 6.
Okay.
And then animated armor, Hanwha. That's going to get a 20, not 20.
Cool. So, on a failure, 2d6 damage of the type the spirit has resistance to. Your choice. So, lightning damage. Success halves it, and it's 2d6 I'm rolling. So that's 7 with the 2d6.
7 points of damage, yeah?
Yeah, so that'd be halved for whichever one's succeeded.
Damn.
We'll say that goes to a 3. Okay, 3 damage. The flying sword will take 3. Oh no, it saved. Yeah, that's 3. And then the animated armor, that one failed, so that was the full 7.
Cool.
Yeah, as the dragon sort of rears up, does that. Oh, never mind. Yeah, the dragon rears up and it leashes its breath weapon. It was lightning, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you watch as the lightning seems to cascade between these creatures here, and it hits the armored one first, which seems to take the brunt of the damage. But then as it ricochets off and hits these others, they seem to take a little bit less damage. But nonetheless, the presence of this dragon Giselle seems to have changed the tide a little bit. Where you guys were previously a little bit outnumbered, now it looks a bit more winnable. But that's your turn done, which means that it's the dragon's turn done, which means now we've got animated armor A,
Correct.
who is he's going to go ahead and turn around and start fighting the dragon. So he's going to make an attack against them. It's just going to be a multi-attack, so he's going to take 2 attacks. Number 1 is a 10, obviously misses. And then number 2 is that a nat 20? No, that's a 20 total to hit the dragon.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah,
Oh.
perfect. 7 points of damage to him.
Cool.
That's the end of his turn. Animated armor B is going to go ahead and start attacking you, Bexar. And he's going to do the same thing. So he's going to use his multi attack against you. First attack, a 9. Second attack, a 9 as well. 2 9s. I'm guessing both miss.
Yeah.
Perfect. Great. Okay, animated armor C. He's going to go ahead and go 1 here to start attacking Jizz. Okay, multi attack. So first one, 14 to hit. Second one, 19 to hit. So I'm guessing just the 19 hits, right?
19 hits.
Ooh,
Okay,
how many
another
kills?
6 points of damage on the Dragoon.
Okay.
Dragoon.
Next up is animated armor Fanwi, who's going to go ahead, the same thing again, uses multi attack against the dragon. So first attack is a 23.
This is great. They're taking a lot. Of
Second attack is a 20. So that's 2 hits. Let's go, baby. 7 plus 6, so 13 points of damage
Altogether.
against the dragon. Yes.
Fuck.
Next up is Todd.
Todd is. Alright, guess what he's gonna do? You won't.
I will.
He's fucking angry.
He's
His
hungry.
sword's on fire. His sword's on fire too. I believe.
So I've heard.
Let's read that quick.
He's going to go flame on. And the sword ignites.
2 take advantage of 2 use drop, stow, or sheath weapon. Oh, okay, cool. So it just stays on fire. Yeah, and I want to turn to that sword that hit me and go, you're fucking dead, you mate. I'll go swing on it.
Take the attacks.
17 and a 13.
17 and 13. Against which one? Armor A.
Not the armor, the sword.
Oh, the sword. The flying
Animated
sword.
flying sword. B, is it? B. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got. So what was the attacks again?
17 and a 13.
The 17 hits, 13 misses.
Okay. So I hit it with 2d6. I hit it with. Okay, so hang on. Let me read this. So I hit it with this, which is a 12.
12 points of damage.
And then I do 2d6 of extra damage as well.
It's
And
dead.
that's a 9, so it's dead. Okay. That'd be a 21 anyways, but
21 max. Okay, how do you want to finish that sword off?
I'm gonna like, let's say I'm like, it's like ting 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 ting. Let's say it's like that, and then I just fucking 2 and I got like that 2 and I go, I just split it in half, right down the middle.
Straight down the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
You watch as you shatter it down the center. The parts that are sort of separated seem to stay in place for a second, and then almost as if affected by the wheeling of the sky, immediately starts to crumble, rust, and then disappear.
Nice.
As flying sword B, it's gone. Dead.
Absolutely buggered it, mate.
He's absolutely buggered it. That was only your first attack, wasn't it?
That was only my first attack. Yes.
Go on, lad. Do your second one then.
I'm coming off the fucking armor right now. You. Yeah, fuck yeah. Fucking,
Yeah, you know what you are.
you're about to get fucked, sunshine. Oh no, I
Hey,
rolled
good.
twice. I actually rolled twice, didn't I? For the.
Mm-hmm.
I did roll
Did you?
twice. I did roll twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. In that case, then, is that your turn
Damn it!
completed?
Next turn.
Next time.
That's my roll completed, yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be flying sword B now, or just flying sword, I guess.
I shot him.
He's the only one here. That makes sense. He's going to go ahead and attack Bexar
Good.
because why not? Just the one attack. He's going to get 14. Beautiful.
Brilliant.
That's only 4 points of damage, though.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, you watch as the sword sort of spins and then it catches you on the arm, leaving a little gash there. But that's the end of his turn. Not Giselle. Wardrone is next. He's going to look at Bexar here. And he is going to attack you.
Me?
Not Bexar. Sorry, Todd. Got a bit tunnel vision.
Is this because I summoned a dragon?
It would have been, yes. That's correct. He's going to go ahead and do his multi-attacks against you, Todd. So first one is a 12. Misses.
Yes.
Second one's a 28.
Nat 20, by the
Which I
looks of it
think, yeah, nat 20. Yeah, so that's going to be
well.
4d10.
How many times?
So,
I've been nat 20 twice,
15,
bro.
A 15 and a... hello, are you rolling?
You think that's bad? They keep rolling my fucking AC.
Yeah. Okay. Good point. Yeah.
15 and 9. So that's going to be 24 points of damage, which will be halved. So 14 to you.
12, darling.
Yes. Ignore the 16 because I think that just lagged out on my end and
Okay.
pressed it too many times.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that is going to be the war drone's turn done.
I will react to it though.
Okay, go on, yeah. Oh, you want to do the attack?
Fucking little fucker. Oh, I have you thought I was gonna go.
Dirty,
You,
filthy little.
you filthy little fucker. You thought I was going for the armor. You foul play, mate. Yeah, I'm fucking
You've
coming
pissed
for you,
me
son
off.
boy.
I might say you've pissed me off.
People don't work with me, war drone. They work
for
me. All right. Prepare to meet thy maker. and I'm gonna go swing. Please do. I've rolled the damage one. That's all right. Ooh, get nervous. Right. 22.
22 to hit. Who are you hitting? The war drone?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that'll hit.
Yes. I bet you're sucking, big fucking little bastard. That's fucking 11 points of fucking. I'm on fire. Hey, I'm on fucking fire, bastard. Right.
11 points of damage. Okay.
11 plus 4, 15.
15.
Have that, you solid rock
Okay.
bastard.
Perfect. Yeah, you start laying into him. The armor itself, as it's trying to block part of you, the flames just sort of, as it makes contact, start to heat up the metal. And as it's heating up the metal in the same spot, it just starts to cleave parts of the armor off. You definitely dig it into him now.
Yeah, boy.
This thing starts to start growing a little bit. But next up, after Wardrone's turn, is Bexar. Go ahead.
I am going to cast at 3rd level Dissonant Whispers on the animated flying sword.
Dissonant Whispers.
One creature of your choice that you can see within range hears a discordant melody in its mind. The target makes a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it takes, in this instance, 5d6 psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far away from you as it can, using the safest route. On a successful save, the target only takes half as much damage.
It rolled something ridiculous like a 2, so
Cool.
definitely doesn't save.
So it's 5d6.
Go ahead, roll the damage.
I literally have just rolled 1s and 2s here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8 damage, and it needs to run away as far
8
as
damage.
possible.
Run away.
You watch as you channel your magic to affect this creature. Something about its enchantments doesn't allow that magic to hook onto it or to take effect. And you watch as basically as you're letting off the magic and you're concentrating on the sword, it seems to just ping off the sword.
Oh, good.
As you pretty quickly find out that it's actually immune to psychic damage.
Good.
Goody.
So it takes no damage there, and
Okay.
will still move away. It's not frightened, is it?
No, it just
Has to move away.
it just says it has to. It doesn't say frightened.
Okay. Okay, it'll move away then in its next turn. Okay. Next up then after you is Jizzle.
Yes. Cool. So gonna do multi-tack again.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was it? It was D6 plus 7. It's an 11 to hit the war drone. I'm assuming that misses.
Misses, correct.
Second attack is a 17 plus 7. 20,
That, my friend, will hit.
Oi, oi.
24 hit. And then I'll roll the dice for this first.
Mm-hmm.
6 plus 4 plus 2. 6, 10, 12 damage from the rend attack. And
What type of damage is that?
That's just melee attack.
Is it bludgeoning or slashing or
Piercing.
piercing?
Piercing.
Okay, I should have been taking that into account. It takes reduced. No, actually, it doesn't take any damage from non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage.
Oh, brilliant. Cool.
Whoops.
And then could you
Smasher.
give me a dexterity saving throw for
Yes.
the breath attack? I'll do the cone here.
It fails the dex save.
Yeah, but there's going to be more than just that one in the thing. It's also got that animated armor, animated armor A.
And that's a dex save, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so animated armor Fanny gets a 13.
Oi, oi.
And then
cool.
animated armor A gets a 1. So they both
Cool.
fail.
So that's
All of them fail, basically.
so that's 2d6 damage for them. That's 9 damage they're taking.
9 damage. What
Yeah.
type of damage is it?
Lightning.
Okay, yeah, they can get affected by that. Perfect. 9 for you, 9 for you, and then 9 for you. Cool. Yeah, same thing again. Dragon rears back and it starts to attack the war drone, but again, the claws can't quite pierce through the its shell. But the breath weapon, again, as it pings off these now that it's struck the entities here a couple more times, you can see it's having a bit more of an impact now as they each take some damage from that dragon attack. But that'll be Bexar done.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we've got animated armor A, who's gonna turn around and attack Giselle again, using its multi-attack.
Giselle, no.
So number 1 is gonna be 18.
Miss.
18 misses.
Mm-hmm.
Must be out of your damn mind if an 18 misses.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, both of his attacks miss. Okay, next up then will be armor B. What a shame. He's going to go ahead and attack Bexar instead.
14 to hit.
Attack number 1, 14.
There's actually
Just straight up, and then attack number 2 is a 9. So the 14 hits, which is going to be 5 points of bludgeoning damage against ye.
cool.
Next up, armor C, who's going to go ahead and attack Giselle again. 2 attacks. First one, 15, misses. Second one, a 5, misses. Thank you for coming, animated armor C. Your turn is done. Fanny's going to go ahead and attack Giselle as well. That's going to be 1, which is a 5, and then 2, which is a 14. Both of those miss.
Oi, oi.
Excellent. Todd, you're up next.
Damn.
Tiny Todd,
Yellow.
you're up next, lad.
I'm ready to go, obviously.
Clearly. I'm not
Send
selling
me
you
Wow.
already.
Instagram reels.
War Drone's now getting it. Right, he's getting it.
Okay.
Because he's pissing me off now, actually. He's fucking pissing me off. I'm gonna fucking lay into him. Hopefully.
Taking it, lad.
Ooh-ish.
Fuck me, 27.
27 and a
overall.
24.
Both of those will handily hit him.
Lovely. So let's do this then. Let's do this.
Lovely.
So 9 plus 11. Is that 11? No, 10. So that's 19 plus. We've got. Is that 34?
34 points of damage.
Yes.
Damn. That was just on attack 1, was it?
That was both hits.
Oh, okay, thank fuck for that.
Bush.
34 points of damage. Jesus.
34. Get
Yeah, this
fucking
thing is-
schmeared around, bitch.
It's taking a lot of hits here, mainly by Todd. But the damage is leaving now singed and scorched marks, and as you're laying into him, you're watching bits of energy start to escape from his core.
Okay.
As he's still up and about, but you can see now that the clicks are a little bit more labored. So as the mechanism inside him starts to twist and turn over, it's shaking his whole frame. But yeah, you fucked him up.
You could say he's
Quite
getting
heavily.
schmeckled.
Schleemed and Schabloinked, I would say.
Even Schabloink's good. Okay.
Yeah. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes, that's basically all I can do. Yeah.
Okay. Next up, then we got the animated sword. He's just going to go ahead and make an attack against Star. And he rolls a. What does he roll, game? What does he roll? Does he roll anything, game?
What does he roll? Is he allowed to roll?
Oh, and that's 20. Okay. Fantastic. Enjoy that one. That's going to be 2d8.
Fantastic.
So that's 6
mate.
plus 9, which is going to be 15.
Who's that at, sorry?
That's at you, Bexar.
Oh, good.
Bexy.
You say
15 points of damage. Yes.
1-5.
1-5, yeah.
One bloody.
You can take 50 if you want.
Nah.
5-0,
Didn't
please.
think so. Next up is the War Drone. Now, his health has fallen below a certain threshold, so I'm going to roll a d6. Okay, nothing happens. Okay, he's going to go ahead and, again, just target TinyTod. Because he wants to kill you guys, I think.
You think so?
So he's going to go ahead and do his multi-attacks against you. So first one, 27. Or 1 off a nat 20.
Oh my
and
lord.
the second one is an 11, so that doesn't hit.
Okay, well one of them does.
Bosh. 15 points of damage.
Goody.
Fantastic.
But I'm gonna half that to a 7. Or an 8.
No, that'll be fine. 7, yeah. Next up, we go back to the top of the round now. Bexar, it's you again.
Yeah,
Bexu.
I'm going to cast. On the War Drone, I'm going to cast Charm Monster at 4th level.
Okay.
So it
Go
gets,
ahead and.
so it gets advantage on the roll on a Wisdom saving throw.
It doesn't actually need to roll for this. As a mechanical construct, it is immune to being charmed.
Wee.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Ow bows. Ow bows.
Okay. That puts my plan out of action. Never mind.
Will that be all you do on your turn? Do you have any
Yeah.
bonuses that you want to do?
No, that's it. Wanker.
Okay.
That's
Next
it.
up, then we've got
I'm
Giselle.
jerking.
Yeah. Giselle is going to go for Animated Armor C. Going to do a multi-attack.
Okay.
That is a 17 plus 7 to hit.
17 plus 7. Yeah, that'll hit.
Cool. I'll just do them one by one. That's for 10 damage for the first attack.
Okay.
Second one is a natural 20.
Fantastic.
Lovely.
So that is
That's what I'm talking about.
a 10 plus 4, 16 damage. On the
16.
second. And then Giselle's going to use her breath weapon in this area. Oh no, that's a square. In this area. So that'll be
Okay, so we need
seeing the
dex
flying
saving.
sword.
So saving throw for armor C is a 6, and then for the
Ooh.
flying sword is going to be a 16.
Okay, so the sword will take half.
Mhm.
So that's 6 damage altogether. So the sword takes 3.
6 damage, and the sword takes 3. First bit of damage is taken all game. Okay,
Damn.
fantastic. Does that do you?
Yes. And it's the
Cool,
first bit
right.
of damage it's taken all game because you've made it allergic to half of my attacks.
Not on purpose.
Not allergic, sorry. Invulnerable.
Next up is Armor A, who is going to go ahead and make some attacks at Todd. He's going to make some attacks at you. So he's going to do his multi-attack. First one is going to be a 23 to hit. Not nat 20. And then the next one is going to be a 9, so only one of those goes through. Fuck, that's so low on the damage. Only 4 points of damage there from C, which is going to be 2 to you. Next up is Armor B, who's going to go ahead and attack at Wampus.
Nah.
He's going to do his multi-attack. So first one is 10, doesn't hit. Next one is 12. Both of those miss. Fantastic.
You sure they both weren't 14s?
No, they weren't the 14s. I wish they were. I wish they were.
Funny.
Next up is Armor C, who, after taking quite a heavy amount of damage from Giselle, is going to go ahead and direct his attacks back to her. So he's going to go ahead and do his multi-attack, which is an 8 and a 22. Guess the 22 hits. Beautiful. Max damage on that one, so 8 points of damage to Giselle.
Cool.
Then next up, we've got Fanny, who's going to go ahead and attack Giselle as well. So that's going to be 8 on his first attack and 13 on his second. So I'm guessing both of those miss, yeah?
Correct.
Cool. Next up, we've got Todd.
Toddy? Well, guess what Toddy's going to do?
Go on, sunshine.
Well, actually, I can use a spell, but I don't know if it's useful or not.
You're raging, so you won't be able to cast a spell.
Oh, use a spell. Okay, cool. Well, that's that then.
This
Okay.
is made.
I'm gonna fucking hit the water then.
Go red, sunshine.
That water's gonna get smacked. Ah, 16 and a 10.
The 16, yeah, meets it, beats it. That'll hit.
Booyah!
Yes. Go ahead. Roll your damage for the 16.
15.
15 points of damage.
15 pois.
Fantastic.
That's what I'm talking
Okay.
about.
Does that do you?
That I'm done with that. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. Skis. Got nothing left
Cool.
to give.
Next up is the flying sword, who's going to go ahead and attack Bexar. That's going to be a 7. Misses.
7.
Rip. Next up, we've got the war drone. He's going to go ahead and roll a d6. 4 again. Nothing happens there. He's going to go ahead and make his attacks against you, Todd.
Toddy, no.
Actually, yeah, he's going to be against you, Todd.
No, Toddy, no.
First one, 18. Second one, 26.
Oh yeah.
Both of those.
Both of them. Yeah.
So on the first one, you take 20 points of damage. On the second one, you take 18. So that's a total of 38, which would be halved.
Woohoo.
What the fuck
Good.
is half of 38? 19. You take 19 points of damage.
Damn, that was not good for me.
Are you down?
No.
Okay.
But I'm
There's always next round.
I'm fucking
He watches the war drone raises up its club, basically, what is effectively a massive steel pipe, and it brings it down
God.
on you, starts racking your brains. Um,
Goodness gracious.
but it's still up. It is chugging now. There's a bit of like arcane sparks flying off it after the attacks that you've been landing on it, but that will do his turn. Next up, you got Bexar.
Cool. So Bexar is going to cast Shatter at 3rd level. The description is: a sudden loud ringing noise, painfully intense, erupts from a point of your choice within range. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make a Constitution saving throw. A creature takes
Okay.
3d8 thunder damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful. A creature made of inorganic materials such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage on this saving throw.
Okay. So where are you putting it?
Yeah. So let me just get 10 feet up.
Up his ass.
There. So that'll get Fanny, A, and
Yeah.
War Drone.
Okay. What role is it? Sorry, Constitution.
Constitution, and they'll roll with disadvantage.
Okay, so with disadvantage, 6 for Fanny drone, and then
Fanny
for
drone.
the war drone, con save at disadvantage, 11.
48. Cool. So they need to be a 15. So I take it they all fail.
Mm-hmm.
So the 3 of them take 3, 9.
Oh wait, was that A as well? Let me just do
Yeah.
this.
9.
They're all buggered.
Yeah, he fails as well.
So they take 14 damage.
14. Cool. You take 14. And then you take 14, which armor A actually dies from this. So the other
Good
2 are
choice.
still up, although they do take quite a chunky amount of damage. How do you want to do this for armor A?
So I'll basically just like strum on my lute, and like a bolt of sound effectively flies up into the air, lands in that 10-foot radius, and like emanates outwards. And all 3 of them kind of shake, but armor A just kind of like shakes more and more, like rapidly, until it just kind of disintegrates.
Yeah, you pull out the loot, you strum that magic, and as it impacts onto the ground, like I said, from a central point, it starts to emanate outwards like a shockwave, and as it reverberates on the metal of the war drone and the other armor, they get shaken off, and you watch loose bits of scrap fly off them. But the armor A in front of you, the resonance is just too much, and as the magic sort of starts to hit him, it cascades inside him as well, and he just watches like random screws and nuts and bolts starts to fall off him as he collapses into a pile on the ground. He's now out. He's
Nuts and
gone
bolts.
and dead.
Bloody dead, mate.
Does that do your turn, Bexar?
That'll be me.
All right, next up is Giselle.
Giselle's gonna go for a multi-attack again. So with her first attack, she's going to go for armor C, and that is a 9 to hit.
9 misses.
Cool. Second attack. Oh, that's my balls. Second attack is a 26 to hit.
That'll do it. Yeah.
And that is 1d6. 6 plus 4, 10, 12 damage.
That's animated armor. See, crumpled as well. How does Giselle want to do this?
So she'll just swipe at the armor, and it'll just kind of like crumble as it hits the ground.
Yeah, not much work for a dragon, really. Even a spectral one. It brings out its massive arm, swipes down, crumples it like a beer can onto the ground into a little impact crater,
Like a beer can.
And that's him gone. Him done there.
Question: before I use the next part of my multi attack, can I move before?
I think you can, yeah, because
Okay.
you've killed one, so you would be able to move and do another attack if you needed to. Yeah.
So Giselle is going to go around to this side of Fanny.
You would be leaving animated armor here, his attack range. So he's going to do an attack of opportunity against Giselle.
That's fine.
So just one attack. 24. Not 20 actually. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 7 plus 5, so 12 points of damage.
Okay. 12. Cool.
Yeah, as it just sort of turns and glances as she sort of runs off in the other direction. Yeah, go ahead.
And then she's going to use her breath weapon in that range. So that will be all 4 of them to roll a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. That's 12 for Fanny.
Fanny.
2 for War Drone. The animated armor is going to be a 5, and then Flying Sword is going to be a 11. So I think they all fail that.
Cool. So
none of them rolled above a 14.
They will all take 9 points of damage.
Okay, so 9 there. 9 there. 9 there. And 9 there. Okay, Fanny's actually dead now. You've killed Fanny.
We got Fanny, boy.
Crush that Fanny.
So the lightning breath weapon just seems to pierce and melt through like a Tesla coil, just melting it down into a molten mass as Fanny just crumples.
Fanny just
and
does that do? Yeah, Giselle's turn. Yeah, cool. Next up is animated armor, who doesn't seem to be affected by any of his comrades dying or perishing. Is going to carry on attacking you, Bexar.
Woo!
So the first attack is going to be a 22 to hit.
Yeah.
And the second attack is going to be a 16. So I think both of those hit.
Yeah.
So that's a 5 and a 3. So it's going to be 8 points of damage.
Cool.
Shing shing. Next up, Todd, is you, lad.
Todders. First things first, Todd's going to step here.
Okay.
He steps forward, and he's like, right, I might not have got you last time, War Drone. But this time I'm going to get you. Alright?
Go on then.
And he's going to go for a swing on him. Ish.
Jesus Christ.
That'll be a 27 and then a natural 20, please.
Yeah, regardless of what damage you do here, it's going to be enough to kill it. So
I'm still rolling my damage.
Okay, roll your damage then.
13.
Okay.
Plus 9. Someone better be doing the math on this because I'm not.
22.
Yeah.
Plus 5.
26.
27 points of damage.
Lovely.
TinyTod.
What happened to it?
Slayer of giants and collector of small trinkets.
That's what he does.
How do you fell this beast?
Well, I'm quite small. It's quite big.
Observant.
I run under. So TinyTod runs under the drone, and he slides and he goes on his right leg like that. Takes his right leg. Achilles gone. All right.
Yeah.
He then turns, jumps, and goes into his back like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He then hoists himself up on his sword, stands on it, and like creates him a new batty grease.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Yeah. Creates him a new batty crease.
As someone who's verifiably experienced in combat, being level 15, you dash underneath, sensing that its end is near, slice at its Achilles tendon with a reverse grip, and then as you turn around, you waiting for the monster to sort of react. It falls to one
Yeah.
knee, and then
Yeah.
you jump up in the air, sword in the back, and then you climb up, and then you jump on the sword basically and just slice it
Just
all the
clip
way
it,
down.
yeah.
As it seems to have like a weird echo scream as you slicing down it. There's a release of spiritual energy going upwards, but going downwards, there's some weird kind of black brown sludge coming out of the back of it.
And Tiny Todd shouts like he goes like, "Oh, how's that for faith then?"
Funny, yeah. The creature crumples into the ground, bested by TinyTod. We'll say
Yeah,
as a result of
TinyTod.
that, you've ended up here.
Yeah, in his Barty. Okay.
It is Barty hole, Bev. That's that. Next up, we've got the animated sword, who, true to form, is going to target Bexar
Yes.
with a 9, which misses. So, animated sword flourishing in the air, just annoyingly trying to clip your wings. Sometimes landing, sometimes not. But next up is going to be Bexar.
Cool. Bexar is going to cast Shatter at 2nd level
Mm-hmm.
in this area.
Okay.
Uh,
That's going to be you.
so
Constitution, wasn't it?
Constitution at disadvantage because they are
So
inorganic material.
both of them fail.
Cool.
I think this might be the end of them.
Fantastic.
3d8. 2, 5, 6 damage altogether.
6. Yeah, that's enough for the sword. Not quite enough for the animated armor,
Gosh
however.
darn it.
Not quite. Does that do your turn, Bexar?
Yes, that will be me.
Next up is Giselle.
Giselle.
What HP is Giselle on, by the way?
Giselle is. Oh shit, drop my phone. I'm using my calculator. 14 HP.
God, that was so close. Okay.
Giselle is
Cool.
going to kind of like fly into the air and then land on the other side of the armor. And
Okay.
she is going to multi-attack with her melees. So, does a 21 hit?
21 will hit, yeah.
Okay, that
You bet your ass.
For 10 damage
10 damage. Okay.
with the first attack.
Yep.
The second attack is a dirty 20.
Oh,
30-20 will still hit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this might be it.
And that is 11 damage.
Yeah. That'll do it. Animated armor has been crumpled as the final creature who gets killed. How does Giselle want to do this?
It's gonna be. So she's gonna like kind of swipe it up with her front leg, her maw. Her maw? No, that's a mouth, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, her front leg. So
her front leg. She's gonna like swipe it up and pick it up, and then just start like fucking pommeling it into the ground as like bits of like metal and stuff are flying off in varying directions until there's nothing but like a small crater.
A little Yamcha-sized hole in the ground with a bit of scrap in the middle. Yeah, I mean, it's enough. You guys watch the huge spiritual dragon pounding in a very non-spiritual way this creature into the ground.
Yeah.
Hang on. That's not the one I want. Nope. That's the one. Okay, you guys have felled all the beasts before you, and you watch as the various sort of bits of scrap and metal, etc., just all collapsed and crumpled on the ground, whirring gears occasionally turning and then stopping. At the other end, you're watching a figure who was on the podium at the opposite side, clutching various different kinds of golden bones scattered across what is effectively like a bowl. an obsidian bowl. Go ahead, Bexar, give me an Arcana check.
Arcana. That's a 6.
A 6, okay. As a level 15 magic user, even a 6 will let you know that this person was trying to use the spell Augury, but at a very high level. Basically, getting prophecies, trying to work out whether the future bodes well or bodes ill.
Okay.
But clearly didn't bode too well for this figure that's sort of shrouded and slumped over the edge of this altar. But as you're inspecting it, you watch as his head slowly starts to lift up to you. And it's got eyes, his skin has long since sort of rotted into a black colour. And his eyes are hollow and sunken with golden shards for teeth as it looks up to you with its jaw sort of chittering. It seems to be whispering something under its breath very quietly.
Can I lean in for a... I don't want it to be like in swiping range, just in case. But I want to kind of like try and get a bit closer to discern if I can hear anything, like what it's saying.
Sure, yeah. As you lean in closer, you hear like a very raspy voice say to you, "In the shadowed veil, the soul is masked. From lineage cursed, his anger tasked. With twisted form, grief that crashes, he sparks the flame, the world to ashes." And as soon as he says ashes, you watch as this black shadow just pulses out from it and starts to encompass basically the entire landscape. And you both of you start to get this vision of a little gnomish figure.
I knew I'd heard
walking.
that somewhere before. I knew I'd heard it somewhere before.
You see this
A
little
little
gnomish
gnomish
figure
figure.
walking in shadow as it's hit by a ray of green light and starts walking taller and more upright, and in his hand holding something glowing with a deep pulsing purple, and it looks almost like a bottle or some kind of phylactery of some kind. His hands are shaking as he's holding it, and both of you watch as the figure's hand is shaking. You see a second figure, much further away, distant, and bound in volcanic chains, gazes skyward. The silhouette is towering, with a hair of cinders and eyes like cracked magma. The mask seems to sort of peel away from both of these figures, and as it does, you hear the sort of the crone or the old person that you were speaking to saying, "Hear the word hear the word from the lost time. The flame shall break before it binds." And then as the other figure starts to pull against the chains, you watch as the shadows seem to ignite, and the figure that was holding the little elixir or the phylactery starts to burn as well. And you watch as the final line, all these figures seem to disappear, you watch as the skeletal figure basically looks straight into your eyes and says, "But the fire wears a second name." And then it just starts to crumble into dust, leaving nothing but golden teeth and golden bones.
Is this another riddle?
It's not a riddle.
Oh, right, okay.
But as soon as it finishes that conversation, or that prophecy, the world above you, where it was spinning before, wheeling overhead rapidly, now starts to sort of slow down, and it turns to night. And there is of the 3 moons in the sky, they all seem to align perfectly. And then as that eclipse starts to happen, the same not corruption, but the same destruction that was happening within the area that you guys were doing the puzzle rooms starts to now drip from the moons down onto the ground slowly, and it starts to eat away at the land around you.
Can I
Is there anything-
pocket the bones and teeth, please?
You can, yeah, very easy to do that. You grab whatever was there. Very heavy, these things. The bones, very heavy, dense, and the teeth as well, surprisingly dense. But you grab them nonetheless, pocket them, and you guys turn and start to walk away. And you feel, as you take a few steps, you start watching as this darkness is starting to coalesce closer and closer towards you, slower and slower. You see the ruins start to shift into the sand, sinking deeper and deeper. And you start watching as each step you take now in any direction starts to get slower and more sluggish as your body is falling deeper and deeper into the sand.
Can I
Bye-bye.
try and cast Dimension Door?
Yeah, dimension door anywhere within 500 feet.
Can I try and do it? So I'll cast it at 4th level.
Okay. So you can take a willing creature with you.
Yeah. And I'll try and conjure up in my mind where we left our mounts.
Okay, yeah, you could do that. You start to conjure up the magic, and as you sort of fashion the arcane into that doorway for you, you grab TinyTod, and you dispel Giselle, and you watch as it just sort of bows its head, and as it does, it just sort of wisps away. But as you step through the portal, you find yourself outside where you hitched up the mounts.
Whee.
And as you turn around to look at the ruins, nothing there.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
another day.
Cool.
Just another day and another dollar.
Got my tiny treasure. Fuck that.
I have to say that was fucking weird, but I think at least we made some money.
What did I fucking say? Weird dungeon. Let's go.
That's fair. Let's go meet that geezer.
Let's get our Let's get paid.
Yeah. Well, you've only got one mount currently, remember, because you let the other one go.
I'll jump on the back of his. It'd be
Yeah,
great.
fair enough.
Yeah,
You're only
love
tiny
that.
after all.
We are
Tiny
both
Todd.
quite small, so.
Tiny toddlers, let's not forget.
You guys start to make your way off, and as you get towards the ridge where you were left at, basically, you turn towards the cityscape now, and you're looking around you, waiting to see where Yoon is, and you spot very, very far off in the distance, an exceptional distance away, a single column of darkness shoot into the air and then dissipate.
Oh, so this is like
Bye.
now.
And then that's why we're gonna close it.
Damn.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that was fucking weird.
I see you. Okay. Cool.
Fuck yeah.